Hey, what are you doing, Jay? That's for print publications only. Jay just like snuck over and took the Xbox 360 debug. I tried to stop him, but he just ran off.
Alright, listen, you dork. Those f***ers aren't supposed to have the 360. It's going to get me into big trouble. So just whatever you have to do, just get it back.
Alright, I'll go get it back from him.
Just don't come back without it, okay?
What up, lizard man?
What's up, Shane?
Ready for some slow caliber after work?
You betcha.
You're gonna get killed. Oh, it's TV Sean, baby. What's up?
Punk.
Oh.
Go to sleep, Shane. Go to sleep.
Hey, Jay, we gotta talk.
Can you see I'm spending some quality time with my Gizmondo here?
Dude, Gizmondo, this is some serious shit about the Xbox.
Look, Gizmondo, dude.
Who cares? We gotta talk. You! Shit! $1, here we go! Oh, dude. Rematch. Who's gonna have $1?
Hey, what are you doing? Shh.
Why? What's up?
Jay and Shane are in there about the Xbox 360, and it's getting ugly. Well, you gotta go in there, mediate.
All right.
No. What's up, EGN? Yeah.
That's called getting
Rematch.
Right.
Well, let's be honest. Live looked horrible on current gen stuff. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, it just never caught up. They ported it from PS1 to PS2, never caught up, and they've been playing catch-up ever since. This time, they started from the ground up and built it up. It looks really good. They spent a lot of time on the models. I mean, it's probably visually one of the best-looking Xbox 360 games at launch, I think. I mean, overall.
James Posey, starting at the other forward.
But what about the sweat thing? Okay, the sweat
Oh, yeah,
thing.
the sweat thing's a little dramatic. I mean, and like when you boot up the game, Dwayne Wade just like dripping a sweat. It's like,
crazy.
my God, man, he's supposed to be at the most massive orgy I've ever seen in my life. But, I mean, it's weird. I mean, like, I like it to a fact that, like, it shows that, it changes over time. But, yeah, sometimes it gets a little crazy. But I don't mind. At least the players look really, really good.
So the first thing you're doing when you turn on the game is you immediately are playing around with a basketball, like you're just shooting hoops.
Well, it's a great way to trick people from when you're loading a game up, and you're
Right.
like, okay, I got long loading times. All right, I'm gonna shoot around baskets. Which actually, you know what? In the greater scheme of things, it's pretty cool that you can like shoot around and shoot hoops while you're waiting the game to load. But I wonder if that's just like a little trick to hide the loading times.
Well, yeah, it's a trick, but there's nothing bad about that really because it makes it so much cooler. I mean, you really feel like you're doing something. This is not something a PS2 or an Xbox could do. You're dribbling around, you're playing, you picked your teams, you pick the ball back up and you shoot some more hoops. I throw it down a couple of times and then it does that whole, that whole camera flyby into the arena.
Cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole stadium thing, that's another thing. Is like these arenas really feel like true arenas. Like it's not like when I was playing current gen stuff, I always feel like you kind of got 10 players on the screen and that's about it, and you hear some audio. But now you really feel like you're in like these sold out arenas, and from like the PA announcer and even like the 3D models for the crowds look pretty good. I mean, the crowd, you don't really care what they look like, but at least they're 3D this time. I mean, it
but
just
in
feels
those flat cardboard cutouts.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like really I'm in this huge like basketball arena that's pretty like it's alive.
When you're playing in a season, does the crowd actually change their reactions?
Yeah, they will. I mean, you'll see. I mean, when there's a momentum change, they're definitely noticing it. I would like to see it a little bit more ramped up, to be honest with you. And it's hard because like I haven't been like that many situations where it's like a really close game at the end, so I don't know if they're really jacked up. But I mean, definitely they'll like start booing if you're doing bad, and like they'll never share for their team. But it's great like when you hit a 3, you hear like the 3, yeah, and they go crazy. So that's kind of cool. They didn't do that before, so you really feel it.
Here's O'Neal. What great body control to be able to complete that play even while drawing the foul. Team foul, number 2. The basket and Shaquille O'Neal at the line for the first time, looking to complete a 3-point play.
I think they've done a really good job of nailing what the players look like, but they need to add more emotion to the players. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's the grade that you'll see. That's the next level you'll see in year 2, year 3. I know the guys who are making the live for next gen are the ones that made the last couple current gen editions, which I really liked. So I trust those guys a lot. I know they're making a good product. And this feels, I mean, I don't think you're going to see anything revolutionary in terms of the gameplay, but I think for the first time around, you're not really looking for that huge revolution in gameplay. You're looking for that audio-visual experience. And, you know, obviously people are going to say, well, it doesn't have that many features, but I'd rather have a game that feels like a next-gen game rather than just like a blown-out feature set that I could care less about half the stuff that's in there.
Here's Walker. And Antoine Walker able to hit. Well, you've got to keep the offense out of the lane. That's just...
For the first time, like, they realized, listen, we effed up big time. We went from PS1 to PS2, and we can't make that same mistake again. So we're going to build a game from the ground up for next gen and just keep adding it. Yeah, there's no three-point contest and there's no slam dunk contest, which, you know, for the first 5 minutes of the game, you're like, oh, it really sucks. But then you're like, well, slam dunk contest was impossible anyway. And three-point contest, you can almost do that in the loading screen. But I think visually and in audio, it's just definitely reaches that next gen level.
Yeah,
the one I was looking for, like, if I'm gonna spend $400 on a system, that's what I was hoping for.
I'd agree. Yeah, definitely. What I'm looking to do is get in there and, you know, play Kevin Garnett or Amari Stoudemire, you know, and make some fantastic moves that look cool when you're playing it and you have a good time. You go, wow, man, that was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And it does that. It totally does that.
Was deflected. Well, he's the reason Miami's defense has improved so dramatically. They gave up very few points in the paint with that dominating presence behind them. Well, look at the body control, Mark, the strength, the ability to complete the play even when he's drawing contact.
I would say, you know, I'm not the biggest soccer fan, I'll admit it. Like, you know, I don't know who 90% of the guys are. But I do like soccer games. And I think FIFA so far is one of the better looking games. Obviously, it's better looking, but I think one thing they did that NBA is not doing as well is the emotion. Like, you'll see guys, like, after, you know, a big hit, they'll grab their knee, or, like, if they get a yellow card, they're complaining to the ref, and even, like, the coaches are complaining. So they definitely added that kind of emotion to it that maybe is lacking in some of the other sports games.
Well, even though it's early in the game, it's a red card, and I think it's the right decision. We've barely kicked off here.
And actually, now you're seeing more of, like, the sidelines. There's, like, coaches yelling out things and complaining to the ref. So that's kind of new. It's where you don't really notice the next gen. Like, if you're just playing the game, you might not notice that's really next gen. But then you, like, notice these little tiny animations of, like, you know, the upper body kind of physicality of it, and then, like, the close-ups after a yellow card. I mean, they're really upset. You actually see the emotion on their face. That's where you get it. And FIFA's always done a really good job of atmosphere, and that's just ramped up again. So you feel like you're in these gigantic stadiums. So that's where it does. You're not going to see any great gameplay and changes. I mean, they've definitely made it more hardcore. I'll say that. Like, FIFA's always been, like, known as the easy soccer game to play, but this one's actually tough. Like, I actually had to email them and go, listen, have any tips how to score, because it was getting kind of tough.
Schneider.
How does the whole ball play mechanic work on it? Because is it just based on where you're at in the animations, or are there actually moves you have to pull off?
You have to actually pull off moves. I mean, you will lose if you start sprinting. You will lose the ball. You will start losing the ball if you just keep sprinting. You got to be really smart with your passes. That's the key to that game. You have to be smart with your passes. You have to learn when to do a direct pass, when to lob it, when to, like, just run your ass down to the corner and then just lob it into the middle and hopefully get, like, you know, a bicycle kick or, you know, a header. So I think they've definitely added more of a thinking man's mentality to the game. They definitely try to make it more like winning 11. I mean, that's right there. I mean, I would say if you kind of liked FIFA before, you should just play on amateur, the lowest level, and then ramp up. Totally. Because it's, like, they will sit there. If they have the lead, they'll just make sure not to give you the ball. And they'll, like, go back and, like, pass between them, and they'll really be smart when to shoot, when not to shoot. Which is before, FIFA was almost like getting on edge being an arcade game.
It across the penalty area. They've got the ball back through the interception. And it's worth a crack from here.
I was the first one up there to see live, and they told me, they go, listen, we all met, and we had a decision to make. We either A, port and take the easy way out, or we say, listen, we got a short amount of time to rewrite all code and just go crazy. And they took the hard way, and it was such a smart decision, because I think they won't be playing catch-up. And, like, you know, they kind of had to use some fancy marketing tools to kind of get, you know, freestyle control really helped them. But now they have the visual hook, so, like, you just want to play it anyway because it looks so good. And I think the same thing in FIFA. FIFA's realizing, listen, we're going to arcadey. We want to get more of the winning 11 guys. Let's go that way a little bit more. You know, you watch a game on TV and you've been there, you be there. You don't actually necessarily see it better, but you feel it. And that's what I expect from next gen. You're able to feel these sports games, and that's what you're finally starting to do.
Corner for the Germans. And they've scored.